Hey everybody, this is Dream on Dreamer. My name is Marcel.
And I'm Kellen, and you're watching PITCAM TV.
That's right.
So, guys, hey. So this is what, your third run of Europe? Or fourth? Fourth.
Yeah.
How's it going so far?
It's definitely, I think it's our favorite one so far. It's gone really good. Yeah. It's really good this time around.
Are you happy with the crowds?
Absolutely. They've been rad and very responsive, which is always good for us. So, yeah, couldn't be happier.
Good. So this must kind of be like a special thing for you, being German and all. Yeah?
It is definitely a bit special, especially playing in Berlin and stuff. So just in general, being in Germany, you know, coming over here with an Australian band and just playing in front of people is fucking cool. So,
what's it like touring Europe compared to touring back home in Australia?
It's a bit longer, I guess. It's cool though because you seem to be looked after a bit better. Like people know how to put on a tour here, and like venues are very like hospitable, and you get food here and stuff.
You don't get food in Australia?
We do get like fruit platters sometimes and stuff, but like not like a full catering service and like stuff. Unless you're like on big festival runs or something. But usually,
absolutely. Yeah.
And what about the crowds? How do they differ?
Australia obviously knows kind of who we are, I guess. Like,
and the Europeans don't?
Well, not yet, I don't think. Well, it's getting there. It's actually like, it's very surprising this time around because people actually, it feels like it's sort of starting to happen over here, and which is great. Every time we come back, it's just been better. And but Australia, I guess everyone is more, I guess we're just not as new anymore, like in Australia. So everyone's sort of used to our sound, and it's pretty cool the way it is.
There's been a whole wave of metalcore and post-hardcore bands coming out of Australia for a while now, like with Parkway Drive and Kill the Prom Queen, North Lane, Amity Affliction, and you guys, of course. It seems like there's a lot going on down there.
There is, yeah. It's a pretty decent scene at the moment in Australia. There's a lot of crazy good bands coming out and crazy bands that aren't really that good, but it's just, it's the way it is.
Has it gotten so good that it's actually, like, worldwide a good thing these days to be Australian as a band, or doesn't it make a difference?
I don't think it makes a difference, really. You still, I don't think people, although, like, people are kind of starting to put together that, they like a lot of Australian bands, and they might be more actively searching for other Australian bands because they, start to see that pattern, but for the most part, I think it doesn't really change a thing. Like,
So Rise Record decided to drop you guys previous to a Loveless release. Has that affected the release, or did it affect the release, and what came after? Or have you been offered the same opportunities anyways, would you say?
Opportunity-wise, it's been pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I think we kind of like, we like to be optimistic about these things. What happened was we were headed down a certain path where we were pretty young and influential. We were getting told by people that, we're the next big thing, which is not good for anyone to hear because, and that kind of just sent us down this dark path where we're like, all right, there's an obvious answer why bands are succeeding. If we go to this recording studio, the producer will make our album, we'll get picked up by this label, we'll get these tours, and that started to happen. But as that started to happen, we realized that, we still had the same relative amount of happiness of ourselves, and we were like, why are we doing this? I think we kind of had to change our mentality about things and go back to, kind of go backwards before we could go forwards. We were just like, this isn't the right thing for us.
It was sort of like betraying ourselves in a way, It's like we were doing things that we weren't really standing for, I guess. And I mean, we had a good sort of, we gave it a good shot. Like Rise Records put the first album out, which sort of opened up a huge like fan base for us, just for people to even like have a little, listen to the band that never heard of us before. So it was spreading the word in the early days. But I think now it's kind of like it doesn't really matter too much anymore because people who've been following the band or who are following the band or are interested in our music or lyrics or whatever, our art, I think they're just there, the fans, and they're telling people, and that's just the way it spreads right now. So it's not really
the fact that we've been getting the same tour offers and things 2 years later, so it hasn't really been detrimental at all. If anything, it's been a good
Yeah,
good thing.
It's been rad. It's been actually a really good experience coming off the label like that for some reason, because, you know, I mean, it seems like every band these days can get on Rise Records or any sort of big labels, you know. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing, but it's just like, how's that special anymore, you know? It's like, I used to be really like proud of the fact that you're in a band and the band's getting somewhere, it's getting signed or whatever, but, you know, after those years, like, you just realize how little it actually means. Like, it means nothing, you know. It didn't mean anything. Like, we weren't being supplied with money or something. Like, people always have this misconception of being like signed to a big record label and then they're making lots of money and stuff, and it's like, that's exactly the opposite. You know, it's like, and people don't get exposed to that, you know, and which is exactly what the media does to you. I mean, it's all a big lie. And, you know, having lived through that ourselves is like, we can really tell, and we can really be like, you know, we've done this, we've been there.
We tried it.
We've tried it, you know, and it's like,
we learned a lot from it.
You know, exactly. So it's like, we really are a lot wiser than we were like 5 or 4 years ago. So it's all actually worked out in our favor, really.
What I've really noticed about this music scene is that a lot of the bands seem to go through several lineup changes throughout their careers, and you guys are no different. What do you think this is? Why do so many bands go through these changes? Is it the stress of the scene, or the...
I think it's because it always sort of, for some people, looks brighter from the outside than it actually is, maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's circumstantial as well. You know, like, we were in a situation where our, like, bassist at the time, clean singer, was actually having a baby. So, like, you have to sort of weigh out your options. Like, do you want to be a good father, or do you want to be on the road 24/7 neglecting your child? Like, it's like, we didn't really want that either, you know. It was like a mutual sort of decision. It wasn't like he left or something. So it's like, it's really, you know, we want people in the band that are really happy to be doing what we're doing, and, you know, it changes. Like, we all change every day, and that was just a situation, and it changed, and then people decided to step down, and it was like, there was no bad blood or anything. It was just like, you know, we want you guys to, like, we want them to move on or something, you know. And obviously money's always an issue, I guess. Like, after touring, you know, you're starting to have big responsibilities, like people having like mortgages or something like that. And obviously, if you're in a band, it's really hard to sort of, you know, follow up these things. So people just rather get a new job, or like a real job, or like, you know, it's really, I guess, just do what makes you happy. And a lot of people that are sort of parting ways with bands just know that the truth is that there's a lot of work to be done prior to actually getting anything out of it other than traveling the world, you know.
Anything you want to add?
No, he nailed it.
So have these changes in any way affected the band or the sound of the band?
Well, we got a new singer, so, and I don't know, I for one, we all are really stoked to be working with Zach. He's really good. He has such a different way of working with songs than McCoy did. McCoy was our old singer, of course. He was great for what he did. Zach's more of a kind of a jammy dude, you know, so we'll kind of just sit in the studio and we can come up with something together. Whereas before we had any lineup changes, it was just my responsibility to write all the music, and I didn't really like that. I like to be able to share it. And that way, if somebody writes something, I can have like a clear opinion on it. If it's something I did, you have to be a bit of a wanker to be like, that's awesome, you know. But if Zach sits there and does something, I can actually be like, I love that. I want to play that, you know. So I love being able to share with him, and he's incredible. He motivates me. So
he's like a bit of, you know, he's an artist, like, all around, you know, with his lifestyle and everything like that. So it's more like, if anything, it really made this band to what it is, and we were crafting our own sort of art and our own sound. So if anything, it really was just like a blessing, really, to be able to work with people who are actually very artistically on the same level as us.
In what way does he affect your vocals and what you do?
I really do get inspired, actually, by, you know, the way Zach sort of performs vocals or something. And, you know, even the newer stuff, I'm just like, I'm trying out a bit more different vocal styles and stuff. And he's really a person that I really look up to, because he's, you know, he's got this unique sort of, doesn't have a gimmicky voice. It's just so natural and real, and like, he really is, that's him. Like, there's no, that's just him, you know. And it's just like great to see a vocalist actually being real these days. And yeah, it's great. So if anything, it inspires me a lot.
Yeah. You guys have started working on some new stuff, your new album, and the first single was released like 6 months ago. How's the rest of the album coming along?
It's all in various stages. Like, we have pretty much the album there. It's just some songs are in different stages of completion. You know, some are just kind of taking a bit longer to just finish up or whatever. Yeah. But for the most part, it's going really well. Like, we have 3 people writing now, so it's a lot smoother. But yeah, I think at this stage we kind of learned that it's better just to take your time with the writing, make sure it's just the best it can be, and you know, you only get one chance to cement this album into history, so we really put a lot of thought into it. And
and that's the thing, you know, we're on this like interesting path right now where we're trying to really craft our unique Dreamer sound. Like we don't really have any inspirations in this music scene, like coming from other bands. Like, we don't really look to other bands like, this is cool, this is what we're kind of trying to do. We really just wanted to do, like, we just want to be us. And it's like so hard for a band because you can write a breakdown any day. We could probably write another Heart Band album in like a week if we wanted to, you know? And that's exactly not what we want to do. We want to just really find who we are, find out who we are and what we're doing. And yeah, it's just a really, really interesting ride at the moment because we're really getting there. Like, it's feeling so right now. So even if it does take a while, we're going to be proud of it more than anything, you know? Yeah. And that's, I think, what music should be about, to expose what you're about. And that's what's happening right now.
So what do you guys have coming up after this tour?
We have a couple of festivals back home in Brisbane, and then Silverstein. Yeah,
Silverstein are doing their 10th anniversary of discovering the waterfront. Yeah, and so
they're good friends of ours because we toured Europe with them 9 months ago.
Yeah,
can't remember.
Or maybe like a year ago or something. I don't know. So yeah, they asked us to come out, as you know. So we doing that in Australia in May. Obviously, from now, when we get back from Europe, but after this run we go to Russia and stuff on our own and have like another headline run in the UK and stuff, and then we just go back home and then finish writing the album and then play a couple of shows here and there and then go on that Silverstein run, and then we're going to record later on this year. And so it's filling up pretty intensely.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys.
No worries.
My first one, Imagine, when I was...
We get more views if you take off your
16. Okay. I'm going to be flexing the whole time. That's why I did. But yeah, okay, I'll take it off. Now my nipples are actually kind of too hairy right now, so I'm going to leave it. But Imagine was my first one. I was 16, and I went to Little Rock, Arkansas, which is just like, you know, a town way out in the boonies to get it done.